Hi everyone. Um, so uh, this is Infi, and I'm going to continue from where I left off this morning. I'm calling that one day zero for this whole idea that I'm going to start a fresh account in Granblue Fantasy and just take it over all the way through to um, the end game, um, all live on stream. Sorry I'm late. I was supposed to start at 7 p.m. Pretty much almost 1 hour late. Things happened. Let's just say that. So anyway, I got a few suggestions this morning um, about uh, how to better track my progress, I guess. One of the suggestions was to have some milestones, and I think I should also have like an agenda for each day to compare the actual progress against made in the day. So, so, um, so let's just recap, right? So what am I trying to do here? I'm trying to take a fresh account, nothing on the account, absolutely no resources beforehand. Sign up a fresh account on stream, and then keep playing only 2 hours a day, all the way through to the end game, which I'm defining as just being able to contribute in each of the end game raids. So right now that would be Proto Bahamut HL, Ultimate Bahamut HL, and Lucilius HL or Fasan. Um, if by the time I'm done with this, if there are new raids like um, Beelzebub, then I will try to do that too, I guess. But I'm tentatively planning to play this new account only for like 3 to 5 months and see how far we get. Um, anyway, so so what did we do so far, right? So this morning is when I actually started playing on this new account. So I signed up this morning, brand new account, and to get to the end game, the plan, the gist of the plan more or less is to go hard on dark, optimize for some um, dark characters, dark weapons, etc. So we'll go for an enmity Highlander because that's I think the most affordable, most approachable end game setup right now in the game, and also the one that kind of just builds with you. So it's like good all the way in each step of the progression curve. Um, So in order to do that, I had to get some core characters, and because I wanted reproducible results, I didn't, get a starter account or a role or anything. I just used the limited anniversary ticket for Summersby, and then I used my starting, the start as beginner's ticket to get Kolulu, um, and I picked up the event 6, and I picked up Esser as my free eternal from the event. Uh, so, I discussed the rationale behind all of this in uh, the stream earlier today, this morning, which I'm calling Day Zero. It's up on YouTube. It's also the board is also in on Twitch, I guess. Uh, so you can check that out if you want my thought process on like as it was live. Um, so um, what else did I do yesterday? Or this morning rather. So yeah, more or less just started and got the word out. Hopefully there will be people joining us soon, um, today as well, or this season. And so yeah, so this was the overall plan, right? Just optimize for Dark Highlander endgame, um, and make some decisions along the way that will help us get there faster. So it's not that I'm only going to invest on the end game. I also need to make some investments on the early game to make the transition easier, right? So I picked up Summer Joy. I picked up Anubis' skills. So this weapon, if we go to our party, um, right? So this is the weapon I picked from the anniversary ticket. The rationale is more or less that it's like a Xeno, but works for any element, more or less. And it's a core weapon in the actual endgame setup that I'm going for as well. So the, it's like by far the best weapon that I could have picked for this. Uh, then there were some really nice goodies from the anniversary stream, um, such as they gave us one copy of a fully completed Magna weapon for each element. So I picked them up, and as you can see, my grid is right now pretty much just all those weapons and the two weapons I got from the tickets this morning, Kalulu's Spear and Joey's Ribbon. Um, and so, uh, yeah, so I didn't pick up Sarsa. I picked up Esser. I should have did this, I guess. Yeah, and anyway, so the short-term goals, milestones for this week. I want to unlock all Magna raids. I actually want to do that tonight in the next couple of hours. Um, I also want to be able to unlock all the tier 4 classes in a week or so. And I want to um, unlock Arcarum by this week, by the end of this week, I guess. Um, so those are my goals for this week. Um, I'm only playing 2 hours a day, so we'll have to pick and choose what we go for exactly. But I think this is possible within a week. Um, so unlocking tier 4 classes requires that I reach HL, which means I need to rank up like crazy. Um, so uh, so I will have to figure out how I can get rank points. It's because of the Magnafest that's going on right now. It's actually really easy to get early ranks, but it's still quite a bit to go. So like maybe in about 30 ranks or so, when I start slowing down, when I've gone through a few of the story chapters, I'll have to sit down and think about how I can get some setup together to grind ranking early. Um, yeah, and for the month, I'm going to just try and get some MLB grids for Magna 1, unlock Magna 2 weapons. They're going to be light and dark Genos coming at the end of this month, so I'm going to try to get one copy of each weapon. But if I have to just choose what I get, if I have to prioritize because I don't have enough time, then I'll just get the dark weapons. Um, and maybe I'll start, hosting bunker raids. At least I'm not gonna like join them, but maybe I'll unlock them and start hosting them or something. We'll see how much we get done. So these were the milestones that came to my mind. I did this like very, very, very quickly just before I started streaming. So also we'll track how much time it takes for us to like get through these and all that. So for today, right? So these are the milestones for this month, and I'll sort out what I want to do on the long term, like actual milestones. But for today, the goal is to just go through story chapters, unlock all the Magna raids, and potentially continue with the story chapters until I get all the free weapons. For the events, I'm just gonna do the dailies, and hopefully I'll have some skill fodder to actually level up the weapons we have here, because they're right now skill level 1, right? So at least if I can get some skills going in there. So um, So one of the things I want to be careful is to not waste resources that I get as an early player. So that means that I don't want to waste my AP and I don't want to waste my EP. Um, but um, there's not much I can do right now for. Yeah, there's not much I can do right now as far as AP goes, because I still need to go through the story chapters, and because of Manifest, everything is actually free all there is that I can do right now. All the quests I can do. I guess I can do like side quests or something. Maybe I should do that. Just to burn like some. Yeah, let's see. I should be getting crystals from these two, right? And I want to burn. More importantly, I want to burn the EP, so that I'm not just like throwing them out. So I actually was asked a few questions about what the actual endgame that I was going for was, looks like. Um, so let me pull that up actually. Um, so this is my second account that I played somewhat seriously. So this is an account that I did the same thing that I'm trying to do on stream last year, except off stream, and without like actually trying to, that my goal was not really to take that account to take this account to the end game so much, but just like, hey, I kind of want to try like playing another account to see how it goes. Um, so I actually quite enjoyed it, which is why I'm doing what I'm doing on stream right now. Um, this is a completely free to play account. I think I actually spent some money recently though, on like some of the limited tickets or something. But um, so this is what I'm trying to go for um, with the dark end game. Um, instead of Salam, it's going to be six, but Summerjui to just enable enmity. Um, Kalulu, just because he has extreme synergy with enmity, and so let's just go through their skills, I guess. Um, so I'm going to assume that you already know about enmity, but basically, it's the game has like different types of damage modifiers that boost your damage, and enmity is one of them. It's actually the strongest modifier if you can um, make it actually work. Uh, it's the modifier that boosts your damage the lower your HP is. So it's called backwater or enmity. Um, so if we go to the weapon skills, right, boost to attack based on how low HP is, the enmity skill. So um, so the idea with the dark end game um, is to more or less go all in on enmity. Um, so we have some enmity weapons, not that many actually. That's why this is a very approachable end game. Uh, we have the Riven from Summerjui. Um, we have Kolulu's spear, and then we have the actual Gista, right? So these are the enmity weapons. There's a max out claw that you get for free, pretty much. And then the rest of the weapons are just the novice scale, which basically the grid is a Highlander grid, right? Where each weapon is a different weapon, so you get some extra uh, damage cap. Then I have a block gang, which is a grand weapon. That it also gives you the Black Knight character, right? Apollonia. Uh, it's a very strong grand weapon. Um, as so the because we are running a bunch of enmity weapons, we actually don't have a super strong, just regular normal attack modifier weapon, which is where the blood gang comes in. Because blood gang is by far the strongest normal mod weapon, standalone normal mod weapon in dark. Um, and you could actually slot in some other weapon here. So, for example, a fallen sword will do just fine. Um, but you know, Bug Gang also gives you Black Knight, who is a very strong character. So, on the new account, I'm planning to eventually just get a Blood Gang at some point. Um, if I can save up a spark, or if I get lucky or something. Um, and the rest of the weapons are actually all free, all farmable weapons. Um, this is the Opus, um, and then this is a Kirin bow, which you can get from the Kirin raid. And so the point of this grid is to just have a lot of damage, which you can get by keeping your HP really low, so that you have all this enmity kicking in, and at the same time to also have a lot of cap up. so you can go past the damage cap. So this setup relies on skill damage um, between the soldier main character and Kalulu. You're you're relying on a lot of auto nukes, like skills that activate automatically and do a lot of damage. Uh, so the Anubis skill weapon has damage cap up for skill damage and damage cap up regularly when you have the Highlander grid filled out, and then you have some skill cap up on Kalulu's spear. Then you have some more regular cap up on the Kirin bow, and then you have some skill cap up on uh, uh, you want skill cap up on the Opus as well. So as you can see, there's a lot of damage cap up, and they're all primarily oriented toward boosting your skill damage. So skills in generally have like a higher base damage um, modifier. So each attack that you do in the game has its own like base damage, right? And skills tend to have a really high base damage. So each nuke is usually starts at like 500% of your damage or something like that. So that's why skill cap is really easy to reach, even on content that has higher defense. So that's why it's better to focus on skill cap. And also, so the soldier main character, right, with a maxed out John Doe, um, whenever the main character does not take any damage by the end of the turn, um, this activates this auto nuke where uh, you nuke the enemies with a 4 hit nuke. I'll talk about hits in just a bit. And then same thing with Kolu. Any turn that her HP is like in red, so below 25%, which is what it means when the game is activates at the end of the turn when almost knocked out. Um, Whenever she's in red, she basically casts her Tally Ho um, skill, and this skill is a 6 hit dark damage skill. So uh, very good damage on this. So then these are first of all these are damaging nukes, right? So they're going to be hitting the damage cap because they're skill damage. But also it's very nice that they are multi-hit nukes, which means that they each hit acts as a separate instance, so they can be boosted further by supplemental damage. Hey, hey, hey. Um, so yeah, so the the nuke that Kolulu has and the nuke that the main character has, they are multi-hit nukes, so they can be boosted further by supplemental damage. So um, there are many sources of supplemental damage now, but one important source is this summon called Balial, or I actually don't know how to say his name. Belial? Uh, I'm not sure. I should look this stuff up. But I'm just gonna call him Belial. So uh, you know, when you have this summon as a sub summon, when you have him in the grid and not as your main summon, he increases your supplemental damage by 15,000 damage per hit. Uh, what this means is that for each of the 4 hits that the gunslinger or soldier main character does, right? Each of those hits are going to have 15,000 added, just like free of cost. Um, you know, every single hit is gonna do 15,000 more, so the whole spell is gonna end up doing 60,000 more, and when that's just with the base spell without like having uncapped him all the way through. When you actually get into FLB, it's actually 30,000 per hit, which is very good, right? So you want stuff that are multi-hit. Uh, so extra damage instance like with echoes or bonus damage or multi-hit nukes are the way to abuse this system basically. And that's where like Dark has some really cool stuff. It has a good damage with a very cheap grid, um, thanks to Enmity and thanks to Zui, who enables enmity with her second spell conjunction, a very kind of infamous skill, because it will basically kick off enmity as strong as possible, because she's gonna reduce the HP all the way down to one, and then there is some drain, so you're gonna gain some of that back, but you can play around that. Um, and so you're gonna start out with the enmity all the way kicked in, and then you have all these nukes from Kolulu and main character. So I have Salem on this account, but you can honestly just run six. Um, so why Salem, right? Because Salem also has like some cool stuff that helps you have some safety when you are just attack passing against the endgame raids. You're just trying to take fast turns, so that your automatic skills trigger more and more. So you don't want to actually um, take a lot of time in the per turn, because you get more damage by getting more turns in. Yeah, I'm just trying to go through like what the end game looks like for Dark, because I got some questions about, hey, what does it actually look like? Yeah, so I'm just discussing what it actually looks like. So this is my alt, right? Not my main. This is the account that I raised last year. I did the same thing that I'm trying to do on the new account, on this account last year, throughout the year. And this is the more or less the final result, I guess. Well, actually, I moved on to other elements. Um, he has, like, for example, a wind setup, a decent light setup, etc. But this is still the bread and butter on that account. And so I'm just showing off, like, this is what the goal is, right? This is what we're gonna get towards. So basically, get all your enmity weapons, and then um, build towards skill damage with between the characters and the main character, and just get some other damage dealers like Salem or Six. So on the new account, I'm probably not going to have Salem, but I am going to have Six, which actually better for damage, but Salem has more safety, at least against Proto Bahamut HL, right? Because on that, so the game has, I don't know if I can even see it here. Okay, I can't see on that account. Interesting, because I'm locked out from the impossible raids, the HL raids. So what do we mean by endgame, right? So endgame is basically a raid that will um, give you resources that you need only at the very end of your career in GVF, right? So mostly these are raids that you need for uh, the uppermost tier of weapons, or to get what we call gold bars. Those are resources that you can use to uncap any weapon, or to recruit Eternals or things like that. So um, the I'd say the endgame raids kind of start around here actually with the Malice raids. I would consider that endgame. But um, so the most famous endgame raids are basically Proto Bahamut HL, Akasa. The Primarchs actually don't matter. You just do it to get your set of equipments, which I will talk about it a little bit, I guess. Um, but you only need to do this a few times, and then you will never do this again unless they add new content with it. Um, So, so Calvin is asking me which raid I prefer for gold bar farming. So all these three raids, right? The Proto-Bahamut HL, Akasa, um, and um, the I just call her Zui, but it's basically Grand Order raid, right? The Peacemaker's Wing HL. So these all can drop gold bars, as well as this one, the Ultimate Bahamut Impossible. Um, and then the actual final end game raid is this one. I call the raid Blue Sea because it's Blue Lucy Fasan. This raid actually doesn't drop anything uh, too important. It doesn't drop like a gold bar or anything like that. But you do need this raid to get the strongest weapons in the game, which are the Dark Opus weapons. So, for example, this one, right? This is by far the strongest weapon you can get for each element. So this is like the strongest weapon you can get on Dark Primal, right? Goes all the way up to skill level 20, has a bunch of different skills, not just one. Um, and you can have two separate kinds of cap up on this between um, basically like with this and if you run an Ultima, then you can get like two different cap ups at the same time. But uh, the Dark Grid is actually so strong that I no longer run an Ultima. But I did run one Ultima here along the way. Anyway, so these are the strongest weapons, and that's what you need to do Blue Sea for. But other than that, endgame raids are really just a lot of gold bar farming. And so the highest rate is definitely on Proto Bahamut HL. But the problem is that even though the rates are high, so if we look at the rate, right, the drop rates, uh, what things can drop here. So this gold bar is on the red chest, which is chest you can get by either becoming the most valuable player, as in the guy who did the highest damage, or um, you can also get it from the host chest. So this is the only raid in the game that has gold bar on the red chest, and so this is a very famous raid for what we call racing, where multiple people with you know DPS oriented setups come in and like try to race each other to see who will end up with the most valuable player chest, the red chest. So you can actually get the red chest even if you are not the actual MVP. As long as you're in the top six, you have a chance of getting it. But the only one who's guaranteed it is the number one damage dealer. So the rate is definitely the highest, right? Of all the gold bar drops on that are present in this game, apart from the host chest, uh, the thing that you can farm every day, right? And not just like one time per day, but that you can actually actively farm. The rate is definitely the highest in the MVP chest of Proto Bahamut HL, but it's the problem is that the rate takes forever, and your MVP is not guaranteed. So it's not it's not uncommon for a public Bahamut HL to go like 10 minutes or something, right? 5 to 10 minutes, which is a very long time. And yes, the rates are high, but they're also kind of like not that great anyway. So you're still dealing with like astronomically low drop rate anyway, right? So um, that's why a lot of people actually prefer to do the other three raids. Akasa, who has a the gold bar on the blue chest, and similarly with Grand Order. And as far as Ultimate Bahamut HL, there is a gold bar on the host chest, and then there is a gold bar on the flip chest. So the flip chest, is, it's purely luck based, like it's not even damage based. If you are in the raid, as long as you did a single honor, so as long as you casted anything, as long as you took an action, uh, you could potentially get a bar just from being in the raid. Um, that's the case only with this raid. No other raid has a flip bar. So if you are a very new player who cannot do like enough damage to get a blue guaranteed blue chest in Akasa or Grand Order, and that means that you definitely are not going to be able to MVP Protobama Tachel, then this is the only raid that you actually can do for gold bar farming, quote unquote. Um, and then the hostess actually has the highest rate. The hostess for Ultimate Bahama Tachel has by far the highest rate. Um, this should be the same rate as the hostess on this um, Wang Long and Kirin raid. Um, these are the raids. So these guys also have bars, but they are limited by how much you can farm Rise of the Beasts. So is it this event is currently running, and you can get these seals, and once you have all the seals, you can farm combine them into a golden seal, and then you can host um, Wang Long and Kirin, and you have, if you are lucky, you have the ability to get uh, gold bar from the host chest on that raid as well. But you obviously can't do it all year around. because you can only get 9 seals per ROTB, and you want to use a seal for something else as well, like getting a cipher or something. So especially as a new player, you are not going to have that many opportunities to host this. So this raid is actually more important for new players for these summons, right? These two summons are very useful, Huanglong and Kirin. In particular, Kirin is a summon that I'm definitely going to aim for as soon as I have some. As soon as I reach HL, basically, I'm going to try and get this summon because um, it's actually my main summon right now. So I don't have Hades even on this account, but I'm running enmity Dark Highlander, right? How can I do that? Because of Kirin. Because Kirin also, Kirin is a very nice summon which just boosts your elemental damage for like any element, but it also boosts your damage cap for skill. So like I was talking about earlier, the whole point of this setup is to have a lot of skill damage and a lot of damage cap for the skill, right? A lot of damage cap up for the skill. So Kirin is just the perfect summon for it. And then you can pick up a support Hades to boost all the damage that you have, all the primal damage that you have. But yeah, that's more or less what the end game setup looks like um, for Dark, and this is the setup that I'm going for. The core characters are really just Jui um, and Kolulu, and you can have Salem who provides a little bit more safety, and she also does some skill damage on her Ogi, so she's a good like last character to fill in with, or you can just run six, and six is probably higher damage. Um, Not the event six, but the actual eternal six. Where did my six go? I know I dinged him. Yeah, okay, right here. So six is a very damage oriented eternal, and he's just gonna do a lot of damage. It's more or less it, right? So on the new account, I'm just gonna go for six because Salem is a grand character, and I would either have to spark or lock into her. But six is more than good enough. And then the last character I have here is Ray. This is a Proto Bahamut HL's racing setup, right? Uh, Ray is one of the newer grands. She's nice. The nice thing about her is that she's actually not on the Flash Fest, but on the Lake Fest. And there is going to be a 100 roll at the end of the Lake Fest. So if I get lucky, or if I have enough crystals to spark her, I might spark her on the new account. But otherwise, I'm just gonna kind of ignore her. She's not terribly important. You can just run anyone else really in place of Chewie. Um, so the idea with this setup is just to Dark has this summon called Death, right? This is the Arcarum summon for Dark, and it's a very strong summon, but it can be used to like just kill off the character on your fourth slot, and it will give you like you know a very strong multi-attack buff, guaranteed triple attack no matter what for the whole party, right? So the idea is to just use Zui for conjunction to like kick off enmity, then kill her off with death, so that Ray is in the front, and you just give like so Ray is not that great a damage dealer herself, but she has a skill that basically boosts one of your other characters. Um, this first one, she basically allows them to attack twice each turn, and six or Salem do so much damage themselves that you're basically getting a copy of them for free. So you kill Zoe off after she uh, kickstarts your enmity for Ray, and then you boost six with Ray, and then you just spam turns. That's it. So that's for Porto Bahamut, right? You can use something very similar for Akasa HL. So actually, I was doing something else here, so I have a rat here right now. But um, what you actually want is Zoe here as well. So this is like a Akasa, or you know, it also works even for um, Grand Order. Um, the, it actually doesn't matter whether you have Salem in the front or um, Black Knight in the front. They do about the same, but these are the characters that you want. Um, Nier is absolutely core for this. So Nier is the dark evoker character, just like Six is the eternal. Unfortunately, Nier is very time gated. You actually cannot, just like grind her out. It's gonna take unlocking Arcarum and just playing, doing all your tickets every day, just to, get to her. So it's gonna take like I think about maybe 3 or 4 months to get her if I just optimize just for her. If I buy everything I need along the way. Um, yeah. So, but regardless, the idea is the same. The grid is actually almost the same. It's just that because I use this for Akasa, right? I get rid of the um, Summer Jewelry ribbon for the Seraphic weapon, rather this one for the Dark Seraphic weapon. So um, there is one of these weapons for each element. We call them Seraphic weapons. Um, these weapons provide like extra final damage or special modifier against the element that your element is favorable against. So the game has like a rock paper scissors kind of logic for its elements. So there are 6 elements in the game, right? Um, fire, um, fire, water, earth, wind, and then light and dark. So um, water is stronger than fire, earth is stronger than water, wind is stronger than earth, but fire in turn is stronger than wind. So the first 4 elements, what we call the main wheel elements, and we call them main wheel because actually I think the wheel shows up in the game. Let me try. I don't think I can do that, right? Oh, interesting. I thought you had to unlock something there. Oh, that this is my main account, or this is my alt account. I forgot this is not the new account. I'm just showing stuff on here. But I think I actually already turned it off here then. Yeah, they used to have wheels here, so it might show up on this account. So the reason I was considering Sarsa earlier, I ended up picking Esther instead, is because you can do this one button and it basically clears the raid for you. But I'm gonna show you like the um, so that's pretty much the endgame setup for dark. Um, it's just dark soldier with like a lot of skill damage and all that. So let me go to this account. I think I didn't turn off the wheel yet. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about. So this will tell you which element is stronger against which one. So the 4 elements, fire, wind, earth, water, they're strongest. Um, they're superior against a different element in this order. Fire is superior against the wind is superior against the earth is superior against water is superior against the fire, right? And then light and dark are superior against each other. So Akasa is a light element raid, and that's why on the account I had um, uh, on that party the seraphic weapon because it will provide you extra damage against. It's a completely new modifier actually, final damage modifier or seraphic damage modifier. So it boosts your damage significantly um, against just the light raid. Because this is meant to be used against Akasa. Um, this has a lot of value. This is what the grid looks like for Akasa. And I take this exact setup pretty much against Grand Order 2, even though, it would be actually better to take the Summer Jewelry even rather than this Seraphic. So when I do that raid, I will change the weapon, but honestly, I just take this anyway. It does good enough. Um, and even against the new like Dragon raids, the Lindworm, this still works just fine. This exact setup. The idea is the same. Kill off Chewie for near, who gives like your whole character guts effect, which is you don't die when you take. You can take like a lethal damage hit, as in if your character was about to die, they're just gonna end up at 1 HP instead. Wait, no, that's not what Nier does. So what Nier does actually is gives you an auto revive. Guts is something else. So your character can die, but then they will come back up thanks to Nier's thirsting. Actually, probably easier to talk about if I look at the character. So when Nier comes from the back, right? Um, um, each character gets auto revive and some damage absorption. So the Guts effect is actually only on main character when she's in the back before she comes out. But anyway, so Nier has some really good burst damage, and then she will die off, um, and then you get your final character out, which is Black Knight in this case. So this is the Akasa setup. These are pretty much the soldier-based setups as far as Ultimate Bahamut, right? So where do I have it? I actually don't remember where I kept it. I thought I had it here. Yeah. Um, so as far as Ultimate Bahamut, this is the setup that I host with. Uh, this is a very good weapon, probably the strongest Xeno weapon, the Dark Spear. It gives you like an unknown modifier, um, big boost to enmity. This one, so it's actually a really strong weapon as a main hand. Um, and I just run a Spartan with more or less the same enmity Highlander with some that's minor differences. Like instead of the Seraphic or the Summerjig, even I have this Cerberus Order, which gives you some slightly higher multi attack. So what I do with this grid is I host with this grid, or I also just join public grades and just do full auto with this. It's actually good enough to contribute about 1 million damage on most raids really fast. So this is a very good setup for just farming Ultimate Bahamut to gel with. But there's also um, another setup that's really popular nowadays. This is the 5 carry setup. Uh, so the idea is you get 5 dark luchadors, and each one takes a Siba support, right? And you do the same thing. You start off with Jui instead, so that you can apply. Uh, so I talked about killing off Jui to get someone from the back, right? So for example, you can kill off Jui to get near from the back, so that you have thirsting on everyone. But another way to play dark end game is to actually have near in the front and Jui in the back and kill near instead. Because what that does is when near dies um, from a, like she will automatically die after a few turns. But if she dies in some other way, like if you know kill her off with death, uh, she actually applies like a full damage debuff, like all the way up to the debuff cap for damage taken 50% on both your actual party members and against the enemies. But because you only do that for like quick bursts, it doesn't matter that you have that debuff on yourself, because Jui will come out, and on the first turn, Jui's second spell normally does it like I don't know trigger your enmity, but it also gives you damage immunity for the first turn, so you can abuse that. Um, anyway, so this setup is the 5 carry setup where you have Six and Lunalu and Nier and Joey are the mains. Like um, you don't actually need Colulus; it's just a safeguard. You only need the first 4 characters, and this is why I'm going to subtix Lunalu um, as my final or third subtix. So I picked up Joey and Colulu already, and I'm gonna pick up Lunalu towards the end game when I actually have most of the grid done. Um, So the idea is just you have a luchador um room in co-op with five luchadors, and you have a revolving door for people that come in and host. They will come in and host, and then you kick them out, and a new person will come in and host. It's really popular, and it's very, very fast and reliable. You can get like a kill every minute and 10 seconds or so, even with Western ping. So how does this work? Well, this works because of Six's first skill, which gives him Seraphic modifier as well as a very strong echo. I think 50%. And the good thing about that spell is that Lunalu can copy it with her first spell. So um, between the two, you have two characters with 10% Seraphic mod and 50% Echo. So very strong like buffs, damage buffs, right? And then you're gonna put down Near's field, which gives you more bonus damage, more echoes. And then you kill Near off so that you have, um, you know, the the damage is going to be really high because you're gonna kill her with death. So you have guaranteed triple attack for the whole turns, right? Um, so Chewie will come out, and you take one turn just normally. Then on the second turn you will use Zui's conjunction, and you will uh, either use your support Siba, or you will cross the support Siba from one of your other other five people. Because there are going to be five luchadors, right? And everyone comes up with a Siba. So the idea is that it, the five people take turns using their Siva or crossing someone else's Siva, so that you have two Siva turns, right? So you will either cross a Siva, or you will use your own Siva and let someone else cross it on that second turn, and you'll just attack normally. Uh, and after that, uh, the turn after, you will either cross a Siva or use your Siva, and then you will use this Luchador spell or skill called Tag Team, and then you will attack. And uh, if you have five Luchadors doing that, then that's actually enough damage to kill uh, Ultimate Bahamut HL as long as you don't mess up. And that's why it's really fast. Uh, it's just a consistent Ultimate Bahamut HL farming setup. And that's pretty much all the endgame setups for farming. Um, there is also um, Lucifer, right, or Lucilius Fasan. Um, so for Fashan, I don't think I actually have a dark setup on here right now on this account at least. Um, but you need like 30,000 HP to just enter the raid. Um, that's not a big problem for dark because you can just. I think I might actually have something here for Magna instead. Yeah, if you just like put in some. This is not it. It's probably this one. If you just get the Magna staff and Opus and all that, you will have 30k HP on Dark fairly easily. Um, so you will be able to join the raid. I think I had at some point Magna Lucy setup, but I think I killed it. But anyway, it's actually not a big problem for Dark at all, because you just need to put in a couple of the staffs that the raid avatar drops. Gives you like this is a Magna weapon that gives you um, this skill called Sentence, which boosts your Ogi damage and some HP and all that. It's a very strong weapon, and you can just have like a couple of them, and then you can go into the raid with the regular claws, which give you like enmity, right? And you get a couple of them for free now. So then you just go to the raid with Jui and Six, and you can do your trial fairly easily. And if you play smart, you can actually survive a lot too, especially once you have a few Kirins so that you can reset um, Jui's conjunction. If you play smart, you Dark is actually a fairly easy element to do the Lucilius HL raid with fairly early. So that's all the in-game talk. So I'll just go back to the actual grind now. So my goal for tonight, in the next hour, is to just get to like chapter 24 or whatever it is to get to all the Magnas unlocked, and I will keep spending EP on the side. Yeah, my Discord is Infi 3088, I think. Let me see here. Yeah, that's my Discord. Um, yeah, feel free to add me if you want to talk about anything, really. Okay, cool. Yeah, anyone is welcome to just add me and talk to me. Outside of stream hours, I'll just be glad to talk to you about anything Granblue related. So, the same thing as this morning. I am more or less just trying to go through the story, get some rank, and at the same time trying to be a little bit more efficient by not wasting the EP that I'm getting from ranking up. Um, just using it up for the events that are going on right now. And if I don't have an event raid, then I'll just start leeching the Magna raids. Um, so I can't actually uncap him because I don't have this, so that's fine. So uh, there's just a lot of content that's like gated by the story, right? So that's why you want to do like story chapters uh, as early as possible, as far as you can get. But I'm also trying to like just not waste the free EP that I get from ranking up. Because each time you rank up, it actually fills up your AP and EP. I can't do much about AP right now. Although I guess I could be doing like um, I could be doing Angel Halo or something. But I also want to kind of get through this story, so I'll just ignore AP for now. AP is fairly cheap to get anyway. Uh, while especially as a new player, EP is much harder to come by once you stop ranking really fast. So I want to be more efficient with EP, and also I can do it uh, at the same time as I'm going through the main story. So right, hi, that's yummy, right? Hi, Yummy. Why the teary face? Do you miss the game or something? I think I heard you quit and gave Simi your account or something. Yes, I'm for Second Infinity on YouTube. So this is actually getting restreamed on my channel on YouTube as well. So it's getting streamed both on YouTube and Twitch. So I'm responding to someone putting up a crying emoji on the YouTube chat. It's it's a player from I think Jordan. His name is Yummy. Uh, I think he got too busy or something and he couldn't play anymore. So he gave his account to Asimi or Signtrill, the semi-famous GBF streamer. Um, but he's watching this stream right now. Amy is, and he just put up a crying emoji face. So I'm just wondering why he's crying. What's happening here? I don't know why this keeps happening. Like a lot of weird bugs. I think it might be because I'm doing this double window thing a little bit more than the game wants me to or something. But whatever. Gotta be efficient. Actually, should just be dropping the summon here because they should die from the summon drop. How much do I have? So I'm just gonna get the eternal set so I can avoid that grind a little bit from IOTV. Other than that, I'm gonna ignore the gold nuggets and all that right now. I'm gonna get the pots and berries and the rupee maybe. And that's about it, I think. Definitely can't get the other stuff. Maybe I can get the badges though. Uh, uh, Let me just take Bahamut actually, or Hades for that matter. So I think I can actually start hosting these raids now because I'm rank 30. Yeah, but I don't have enough damage for them anyway, and I don't want to keep waiting for somebody to come clear it. So I'll just continue to join whatever public raid I see. Try to get my badges at least. Uh, so at least for my second account, I'd actually focused on wind and not dark at the start, because back then, so I did spark Joy. I didn't start with Joy on that account. I sparked her like a couple of months in, but I'd actually focused on wind, and that's a decent way to go even now, because you get a lot of really good wind weapons right away. Uh, wind has some fairly strong free characters that you can get just from side stories and stuff, and wind's grid is fairly strong too. Uh, it's the same idea as the dark with enmity, but wind's grid is just in terms of grid strength. Wind's Magna grid is actually at least Magna one is stronger. Um, it's the same idea, but it used to make more sense to focus on wind for a new account than dark because claws have just such a terrible drop rate, whereas guns you can actually get within like a week. Like, you can get a full gun grid. So that's why I had focused on wind. But now with dark you have the opportunity to go with like a Highlander grid right away, and you also get a claw for free, and you're gonna get another claw for free later on, like as you complete the story. So now you can actually go with dark right away. But picking up wind is not a bad idea either, especially if you're completely free to play, and you don't have a starter account or something like that. So you don't have a way to get a GUI, then it's a good idea to start with. Wind is still a good free to play element to start with. But Wind's endgame is nowhere near as strong. It has a very strong mid game, but if you don't mind me asking, are you from the subcontinental region? Uh, yeah, my accent should give that way, I think. Um, I originally am from this country called Nepal. I live in the United States now, but I'm from a, I'm from the Himalayan country of Nepal. So it's a small country, landlocked country between uh, India and China. So right north of China, right north of India, right south of China. We border Tibet, the tall mountains, basically. It's a very pretty country. You should visit it sometime. It has a lot of political problems, but it's a really nice country. But I am effectively an American, I think, because I've been living in the United States since I was 18. Um, it's like my 11th year now. Um, I started on my 11th year. Nice. Yeah, there are some good things about the subcontinent. The culture, has some negative sides. It's too conservative. It has a bunch of other problems, but it also has some really cool stuff. And the place is just so pretty, really, especially like Nepal. If you go up there, the mountains and the forests, it's a very 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 nice place. But yeah, I consider myself an American, not Nepalese nowadays. So, because my formative years have been spent in the United States, and I plan on staying here, I guess. Uh, the politics here is getting ugly too, so you know, I don't know if I'll settle down here, but at least for the foreseeable future, I'll be in the US. Yeah, so Japan is a country that I would consider if I were to leave the United States. Um, I actually have some family there too, and it's a country that I've been fascinated with, more fascinated with than the United States, honestly. From when I was younger, I consume a lot of Japanese media and all that. But the problem is that I got an English education, whereas I never got like a Japanese education or anything like that. Actually, I had the opportunity to, but I just never followed through. And the other thing is, United States has some, it has a lot of problems, but it also has a lot of opportunities. Like I work in the tech industry, and it's comfortable, I guess. Uh, it was just, it was really bad when I was a student. Oh God, being an international student in the U.S. is like being in hell. It really is. Uh, so expensive, and there are so many restrictions around international students. But I've gotten through that, I guess. So at this point, life in the US is fairly comfortable, and it also helps me fuel my gacha addiction. I should actually be changing my class here. Um, so, as far as being a fan of Japan, Japan has some fairly interesting history and culture. If you're talking about like how Japan has some problems with foreigners, that's true. But I think that's true in most countries, even the US. Although people here are definitely more used to having foreigners around, I guess, than any other country in the world, especially in the cities. Um, I should be switching class here. It's just I'm trying to unlock Dark Fencer, of course. So the next class that I'll pick up is Enhancer. I actually didn't switch; it just unlocks it. Um, well, that is true, but I think people are people in any country, and I have friends from my home country that are living in Japan, and they enjoy it a lot actually. Friends that were here in the U.S. and are now in Japan, they're enjoying it too. So the whole reputation is a little bit overblown, I think, and it's not like the U.S. is very friendly to foreigners either. Uh, like especially with the political climate changing, it's not really that much better. Um, It's just that people are more normalized, I guess. Immigrants are more normalized in the U.S., so you don't get as many curious interactions as you would in perhaps Japan. But I've never lived in Japan, so I can't speak for the experience, right? I just know that yes, there are people that claim to have some horrible interaction, but then there are also people that live there right now, and you know they enjoy it, even though they do admit that sometimes they get some terrible reactions, but um, for the most part, it's still worth it because it has some appeals, I guess. I think it's Nepal also. I can't talk about like an actual American going and living in Japan. As far as I know, Americans have a fairly good reputation in Japan too. But I'm from Nepal, right? And our country has a very good relationship with Japan too. Japan is like our number one uh, like donor to Nepal because Nepal is a developing country, right? Very poor, and Japan is actually the country that supports us the most. Second one is India, of course, because we are India is our neighboring country, but we actually get more support from Japan than we do from India. Um, so and Nepalese people have fairly um, good impression of Japan, I guess. So that's the background. So no, never actually did an update to my Magna Earth EX Plus 8. I want to like have a video. I can speak Hindi, but it's terrible. I haven't used it in like 10 years plus. Um, बोल तो सकता हूँ लेकिन अच्छा नहीं है अब. Right, my vocabulary is terrible. Um, but I can definitely understand, and I can speak it. If I'm forced to speak it, I will speak it. But yeah, I can speak English, Hindi, Nepali. Those are the three languages that I can speak and write. Yeah. So as far as the one turn kill, I want to make a video with one turn kills, a good approachable, one turn kill for each element. The problem is that the game changes a lot, so a lot of people what they do is they upload videos right before the guild wars, right? Uh, so uh, I don't see myself as a content creator so much, right? I'm primarily a player, and even with what I'm doing right now, I'm playing the game, and I'm just recording it for posterity's sake or just for anyone interested. And I just want to have an audience along, just so I'm not bored out of my mind while I do this a third time. So like this is my third time playing this game from scratch. Uh, uh, and also the point is moot if I don't have a audience. But yeah, I don't really see myself as a content creator so much, so it's hard for me to get motivated to like just churn out content. Like especially if I don't think the video is all that impressive, or you know, I, I guess I have a problem doing like things that are very common and other people are already doing anyway. So because they are better at it than I am, right? Because they've been doing it for a while. So you know, regular content uploaders do a great job. There are many like Cyan Trail. Um, there's Link. Um, Cyan Trail and Link both are in my crew. They're my crewmates. Then who else is there that I regularly follow? Um, there is Salt, who is like a art specialist. Uh, he used to be in my crew, although he was not there when I joined it. Um, and I actually don't really follow other English creators regularly. Those are the only three English content creators that I follow regularly. But there are others, like there is this empty blue guy, right? Um, I think he started last year or something. I'm just saying the name of anyone that comes to mind. Then there is the Nero Dark Saber. It's another person that I've seen around. There is of course Sora, another streamer. Um, who else? But anyway, the point is that there are other people that do like regular content, like you know uploading test runs for new characters and things like that, and they do a much better job. Um, is, is that I'm not sure who that is. Um, can you link their channel? Uh, so there, so I do watch some Japanese content creators. So or Japanese language. Like there is Yuki Tose. He's not actually from Japan. He's from Hong Kong. Um, but he just uploads a lot of videos. So not always optimal, but It's interesting to see what he's doing. Yeah, a Megalodon, uh, GD summary. Then there is also uh, this channel, uh, Omega GBF, I think it's called. It just uploads like bunch of Magna setups. Yeah, there is Mija, who is a European English language content creator. Um, and then there are a bunch of like Lucy soloers that I've watched. Um, if you go to like my YouTube channel and look through my videos, I have a reference section for most of the elements that I cleared, or any solo that I uploaded. I have a reference section where I refer to like a couple of other content creators. Um, oh, apparently there's a Japanese Misa too. I didn't know about the Japanese Misa. I don't think I've ever seen it. I don't think I've ever seen that person's work. I only knew about the European. Nice. Actually, I've seen the name around. I didn't know that's what that reads at. Like I don't remember my hiragana or katakana. I did learn it a long time ago. I don't remember any of it. I only remember the vowels. I forgot everything else. So no. Uh, what I should have done when I started playing this game is pick up Japanese seriously. Because honestly, you can't play a Japanese game if you don't know Japanese very well. You just get locked out of lots of things. No, I'm not Indian. I went through this just now. Uh, my accent is, I guess, South Asian or Indian, uh, but I'm from Nepal originally. I live in the US. I've been living in the US for like a little over 10 years now. Yeah, so there are a lot of people talking about, other content creators in the chat. So I recommend just following, like just Googling those names or, putting them on YouTube or something. I actually don't really watch that many content creators myself, just the ones that are friends with me or, um, you know, the ones that I needed as reference material for the content that I was trying to solo or something. Man, it's actually ridiculous. Like I'm ranking up faster than I'm using my AP. Uh, even like even though I'm just constantly doing nothing but leeching. That's very interesting. Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever actually pick up Japanese. Feels like that SIP has passed. I was very interested when I was a teenager, but then I just kind of didn't follow through. And at this point, I don't know. I don't really plan on uh, living in Japan long term. So if you're not gonna live in the country, then it's kind of hard to justify spending a lot of time learning an esoteric language for that country, right? So I'll just tweet this. Uh, so I think I should actually embed the combined chat from YouTube and Twitch on the stream itself. I'll do that next time around, just so people have an idea what I'm talking of, because I'm responding to both Twitch and YouTube, and it's probably very confusing. Um, hmm. Yeah. Well. Yeah. that's an option. You could just open both as a viewer, boost my numbers. Uh, but I don't care so much, about the whole streaming thing, because I just want some some audience to discuss this with. But otherwise, I don't particularly care to have like larger numbers and things like that. I rather have a interested audience that's more into the game. Are you talking about Summer Fina? I never actually ran her, so I can't really give you an opinion on that. Uh, I could try, I guess. Uh, Soloing is very different than doing the raid normally. So she's definitely not an option if you're soloing. Oh, Summer Tina. Uh, don't know. I think she's just not that strong. She's not strong enough to really have a slot. Um, uh, yeah, Fina and Tina actually share a story too. That's very interesting. Uh, Share the background, I guess. Um, but I don't think you can run her. Like you can run her if you're running fire. She's a good healer. She has some crests and all that. So you can definitely run her if you're just doing the raid normally. But if you're trying to solo, there's no way you can run her. There's just no room for her. Because the solo is very tight, especially for fire. Character-wise, it's very tight. If you have the new weapons with garrison, then you just want to run what I ran, which is basically Tabina and a Tabina oriented setup, right? With Tormentor, with Delta Quartz main hand, and all the garrison weapons. And uh, then you have like Athena. Yeah, um, maybe a thing in the future. Summer Fina. Um, but yeah, the current fire setups are either you have the garrison weapons and then you run Tabina with Athena, and then the final character it's like six with uh, Fire Sosi coming back from the behind to clear like the 10% and 3% paralyzed loss. That's the setup that I used. The other setup is to get the Evoker Frogs and just run like Siegfried or Athena. Some people I think are trying to run Sip instead of Siegfried or something, but the, the the only ones that I know that have cleared have run Siegfried and Athena and Frogs coming from the backline with Alanan to give some defense temporarily. So those are the two setups that I know of for fire. Um, the frog setup, if you don't have like garrison weapons, it doesn't look comfortable at all. All the killers that I saw were very much on the edge and looked like it took a lot of practice. I know the first killer that was from Takeshi that took him like almost 3 months of constant practice. I have my solos uploaded actually, so you can go check. It's not that bad. I use Modface and I get more or less 100 ping from West Coast United States, um, and it's good enough to solo. Time is not really a problem. I do optimize for damage more than the Japanese players do. So, for example, I run Belial, which I think they should do too. I don't know why Belial is not as popular uh, among the Japanese soldiers, because more damage actually helps. I think there is that HP cut, but it's not that big, and the damage that he provides is very nice for multiple reasons. One is just pushing the boss into overdrive really quickly, or like killing overdrive really quickly, right? So the most dangerous part of soloing Fasan is the last 10% and the first 50%. The middle, after you trigger the trials until like the last 10% or so, it's actually not that bad at all. The hardest part is the first 50%. You know, getting to the trial is very hard, and then the final 10% is very hard. So, with more damage, you can both like get to the trials faster, and at the end, you don't want to be taking too many turns at the end. You want to like have enough damage to just get it over with. So that's where I think having Belian in your sub summon is actually a really big deal. But I don't see any Japanese soloists run it. I I think they just like didn't consider it or something. Um, but I really like Belial. I use him in pretty much every element. So I'm just gonna play 2 hours every day. I started at 8 p.m. today instead of 7 p.m. So I'm gonna play for like 35 more minutes, and then I'll just call it a day, I guess, for tonight. Um, so I'm at chapter 17 right now, so I need to pick this up if I want to get to chapter 24. I did spend a lot of time talking about the endgame dark, I guess. Almost the first hour I spent just talking about it rather than doing anything. So I should be doing less of that as in the future, I guess, because I wanna spend 2 hours just playing the game rather than talking about things. So I'll try to do less of that, or I'll count that time separately. Like maybe I'll come in a little bit early or stay after the official 2 hours are over or something to talk about this stuff. Uh, but yeah, I should be playing more than just talking about setups. I want. Do I play any other gacha games? Uh, Unfortunately, the answer is yes. I really shouldn't, but I do. I'm currently playing Arknights. That's the only other gacha game that I play. Um, Actually, I was doing something in Arknights. You reminded me. I was farming some materials. I forgot to auto that. Um, yeah, I'm playing Arknights. It's a tower defense gacha game. Fairly interesting, I guess. Um, Much less time intensive compared to Granblue. It doesn't demand like your time all the time, but it does. On the other hand, Granblue, like you can pick at your own place and pick at your own pace and go at your own pace. If you wanna like take some time off from Granblue and then come back later, you can do that. Like yes, you'll be missing your daily hosts, but it's really not that big a deal because when you come back, you can keep repeating some content, right, and catch up really quickly. You can't do that in Arknights. So yeah, I'm not sure. Arknights is decently interesting, but it's the game doesn't actually have that much content. It's a fairly new gacha game, and uh, you know it also stops like it actually doesn't let people just play the game because you have to actually spend money just to play the game. Like, and even then, there is an actual cap on how much you can play the game every day. You can't play it more than 2 hours. Uh, you can't play it more than 30 minutes if you don't spend money. But if you spend like $5 every day, you can play up to like 2 hours right now. So I don't like that system much. I much prefer Granblue system where if people feel like grinding, they can continue grinding. So I actually meant to pick a dark summon there, but oh well. I should still be able to clear the quest, I think, or I hope. So I've never really tried other gacha games all that much. The popular ones I didn't really like Fate Grand Order and all that. Um, but I like Granblue a lot, obviously, I guess, since I'm doing this. I also hate it a lot because it's so demanding for time, and I've spent way more money than I should have on my main account. But I still like it. It has a lot of flaws, but it's also a very nice game. What's interesting is that the game has like a competitive side to it, even though you wouldn't think so, right? So there's the normal appeal of a JRPG, but then there's also just a weirdly competitive side to the game, between like trying to get solo clears and guild wars and all that. And I'm a very competitive person, so that just like appeals to me, I think. Um, and it's also just I don't know, I just like the presentation of the game, I guess. The aesthetics, I kind of dig it. Yeah. Right now, really, I just play Granblue. I don't really play any other games. I was playing Tekken for a little bit, but I can only play one game competitively at a time. So, and I don't like playing games casually, so I just quit that. Um, Granblue Versus is an interesting game, but the same thing. I don't think I have time to like really pick it up seriously, so I'm not gonna play it. I'm only gonna play it to get the, whatever content is gated behind it for the actual Granblue game. Um, I used to play Dota a lot back in the day, um, but I haven't played Dota in like forever. Um, so I actually know a lot of players that used to play Dota, but now are full-time Granblers. So I don't know if we're degenerates or what, but right. Yeah, the last time I played Dota is also like 4 or 5 years ago. Discounting maybe like a game here and there, like last in the last 2 years, maybe I had a game or something. I don't think I actually have played a game in the last 2 years at all, but I might have one or two games in the years before that. But I officially haven't really played Dota since like 2014. But I played a lot before that. Like I played since like 2004, more or less. like very early, very very early, all the way through. Mm, but yeah, I just I actually can't play the game anymore. I don't know why. I just can't play it. Uh, anyway, there's nothing really of note going on here right now. I'm just still just going through the story and still just using my EP on random raids here and there. Yeah. Oh, I actually forgot to change my class. God. Thankfully, that's not that big a deal because experience for classes is not that big a deal. You get that fairly quickly. There isn't any. Well, that's interesting. Because give me something. So one of the things that people wanted me to do, one of the feedbacks I got in the morning was to actually have some background music. So I didn't really have time to like figure that out today, but I'll try to figure that out for tomorrow, I guess. Um, yeah, if you, uh, I don't know what people do for that. I think most streamers just have like ways that people can recommend or queue up songs or something. I'll see if I can figure that out, I guess. How much crystal do I have? Yeah, so that's the problem, right? Like, I actually don't have that big an audience because I haven't really been streaming, and uh, I also never really cared for it. I still don't care for it really that much. People are welcome to watch, but I don't think of myself as a streamer, I guess. Um, I don't want it to be like a job or something, you know. I don't want to. I want it to be a career. I'm just doing it as a hobby. I'm purely for the hell of it. But that's it. I do like attention, so hopefully more people will come by. Uh, I don't know. Hopefully they find something useful here too, something interesting. I don't know how entertaining I can be, but it's a learned skill, I think. Um, this is just use a very limited budget and rush to the end game. So the total budget for this account is $90 or three sub tickets. That's it. And the only reason I did that is actually to make it consistent. I didn't want it to rely on like luck, but all the characters that I'm sub tixing, you could actually just like reroll for or get from a starter account or just play for a little bit and then spark them or something. So if you're okay with waiting a little longer, right? Um, but the most important character is Zui, um, and then the other core characters are uh, Kolulu and Lunalu and Six. So 6 you obviously have to farm, but if you start during this event, you're gonna get a discount version for free. Um, Zui, I use the analytics. Kalulu, I use my start test on this account. Um, like I said, the only reason was to make it consistent, um, and not rely on luck. Uh, but on my other account, for example, I just didn't start the account until I had enough crystals to spark Joy. Yeah, and yeah, so you can do things like that, or you can just get someone to give you an account that they have been rolling for fun on, or or you can buy it. It's against the terms of service, but I I don't think it unless you give yourself away. There's no way anyone can actually do anything about it. Uh, it's a very common practice because it helps so much, for new players. Like you buy a decent account and you actually save a lot more money. I would say if you're a new player and you don't have Summer G, mm, C would be my recommendation for your first spark because she's just that good and she just enables an entirely different play style, right? And you can use her in multiple elements. Like on my ult, like I said, I actually started with Wind, but I still got Zui because she was actually the strongest character I could get even for Wind um, last year at the start anyway. Yeah. So I guess what I'll do tomorrow is actually try to use my AP. I think the side stories actually take AP, right? I believe they take AP. No, they count the same as like normal quests. So I'll have to wait until this is done to check on it. But I think side stories take AP, so I should be burning my AP as well, I guess. Just so I'm not like just as I rank up, just wasting it. But I do want to unlock my Magna raids. All right. Pretty sure my class got maxed out from one quest, so I should change my class again. That's different from what I remember. I remember having to kill this bit. Huh. That's different from what I remember indeed. Alright, so I might have to actually use the retreat strategy here because my character's kind of died. Um, you can get yeah, new player progression is very fast compared to like a couple of years ago. You get a lot of weapons free, and uh, usually there are lots of new player campaigns um, where you get a lot of XP and stuff really early. Let me just heal her up actually. So I don't think I'm gonna do enough damage here. I should probably just retreat. I'll see. Uh, 5 SSR Darks, Lunalu, White, Vampy, Black Knight, Sioux. Um, I would say you can run like just Vampy, her brother, and Black Knight, and that's be good enough. The Event 6 is good too. Um, well, that's a decent start, but you can, if you are an actual new player, you can consider like getting Jui. Don't do it right now, but wait until the end of the rolls, and if you still don't have her, you could consider getting Jui from the anniversary ticket. One option. Um, but yeah, like the game is actually fairly well balanced, and um, I don't think there is a bad character, especially for casual players. So I think she'll die here, but that's okay. Yeah, if you're a brand new player, then you know, read up on the game. There's a lot like you can watch my stream, and I'll be talking about a bunch of stuff from the perspective of endgame player. But uh, this is not actually the best resource to start with. Uh, uh, that's fine too. I didn't actually mean to do that. Uh, um, you should read up on like the game's grid system. Read up on the tier list, the tier list. Read up on a lot of characters and the game mechanics. Basically, there are several good resources. The wiki is a very good resource. That's gbf.wiki, right? Um, but then uh, there are a bunch of people that have. You should never rely on a new one single source. When you start something new, um, and this applies for anything, not just Granblue. Just try to observe information from multiple sources. Um, so I would recommend just like play the game your own way. Try to see what you like, what you don't like about the game. Um, then just like read up on stuff, watch people. Um, but yeah, as far as if you're going to focus on dark and you're a new player, you should consider getting Zui. But wait on it. You don't have to get her day one like I did. At least wait until the rolls are over or the flash fest is over. Hopefully you get lucky and you just get her. It's so tier lists. I'm not saying follow the tier list to see, okay, this is a good character, this is a bad character. What I like about tier lists are they give you a good tier list, at least have a write up on each character. Like about the strengths of the character and the weakness of the character, and it just gives you like a brief idea of what the character is like. Um, so that's the reason I said don't follow one source, right? Like follow multiple sources because different people are gonna have different opinions about what's to be done. Um, so I'm not saying take look at one tier list or another tier list and take that as gospel. But what I'm saying is you should read through them anyway. You know, understand that they are still a decent resource for a new player, um, but they might not be so applicable later on. And the goal in learning any new skill or any new thing is to get to the point where you can make your own decisions, right? But before that, you need to just absorb a lot of information. You can't make informed decisions on day one. So, um, so you're just gonna have to like observe the information that's already out there. A lot of it is going to be not the best or not updated, but that's okay because the idea is just to have information, any information, and you can always like reach out to existing players and discuss, hey, this is what I learned from this resource. Is that correct? What do you think, etc. Um, so Granblue community is actually fairly helpful on that regard. Um, there is the subreddit, with the questions thread, and we have many discords where you can. So there's GBF International and Granblue Gaijins. Those are the two big ones, I guess. And then there are discords for different streamers like Trail and Sora. And as far as I know, all those discords are very helpful. People will answer your questions and give you pointers. Now, it might not be the best advice, right? But it doesn't have to be the best advice. It's especially when you're new. Just having opinions to bounce ideas off is a good enough thing. The one thing that I would say is if someone tells you to reduce something, don't do that. Um, um, don't reduce anything, please. Until you understand very well. Don't reduce any of your premium weapons, gacha weapons, or summons. You shouldn't. You should just like not do it for a couple of months. Anything destructive, Don't follow advice on anything destructive. Um, but anything productive, it's okay, If it's a slightly slower route, that's not a big deal, right? Um, but anything destructive, anything that you can't take back, you should be more careful. I actually have a lot of weapons here. Let's see. I'll just upgrade. So for Rise of the Beasts, right, you can actually take it easy as a new player. You can just leech and get the bases, and that's it. Pretty much like what I'm doing. Um, there's is if you are an actual new player, then there's not much more you can do anyway. It's uh, it's okay. It will come back. Yes, it's time gated, and it's unfortunate that you can't get a lot out of it this time around, but that's okay. You can't do everything in the game. There are only so many hours in the day. Yeah, at some point you have no choice but to grind events like Rise of the Beasts, because there are so many things that are locked behind the stuff you get from the event. So Uh, well, that depends on what you have. I am at 92 bases. Okay. Seems like I can actually hit 200 bases, but the problem is um, I'm only going to be playing 7 to 9 p.m., right? So I might not have uh, the right raid for the other badges, the right cardinal bonus at that time. We'll see. Maybe I should actually stream during my strike time, or I should change my strike time to this so that I can do any of them. Yeah, if you don't have like if you have fodder that's gonna go to waste and you don't know exactly what you're gonna do, I don't know, just stock up on skill fodder, and you fill up your chalice. So it's these things, right? You can reserve experience onto these grails or chalice or whatever you want to call them. Oh, come on, die faster. Let me tweet this one actually. Come on, man. So kill this thing, you know. Rank 230, man. Come on. I wanted to pick a dark character here. Oh well. Or dark summon, rather. Should I just be rushing through story or should I be doing other stuff? So, you should go through the story at least until you unlock all the manga raids, which is what I'm trying to do right now, right? But do the same thing I'm doing, you know, like get used to playing on two screens, um, and on the side, like you know, it's that's why the speedrun part is in code, right? I'm just trying to get to the end game, um, just trying to get as strong as possible, as quickly as possible. It's not really a speedrun in the sense that there is an ending or anything like that. Um, I just don't know, uh, for the lack of a better word, I guess, is why I used the word speedrun there. But yeah, Pessy, you could do the same thing I'm doing, like it's have two windows open, and you know, on one of them just leech the Rise of the Beasts event, right? Um, Basically what I'm doing. And on the another, just continue through the story. Try to pick up the different classes that I'm picking. Um, so very quick overview of what I'm trying to do here with the classes and stuff, right? So for new players, there's this class called Dark Fencer. That is the class that you wanna rush towards. So the requirement for this class is to take like actually you can't see it anymore, but you want Enhancer and Sentinel, and I don't remember the third class, but um, basically all the classes that I went through so far are the classes that you want to do first. Knight, Fighter, Priest, then Enhancer. So and then the second tier of Sentinel and Arcana Dweller, and that will allow you to get Dark Fencer. So that's the just get those classes first. Um, but honestly, the experience is not a problem right now. I just switch through all the classes, get all the classes from tier 1 through tier 3, get all of them maxed out. So that's level 20. And as soon as you see that your class is at level 20, um, class level is at level 20, you should switch. So I should actually switch this one too. Oh no, I'm actually level 8 only. Um, it will tell you, when on the quest end screen, it will tell you, hey, you maxed out this or something. I'm at class level 8 for right now on this one. After I have this class, I will have Dark Fencer. Um, but yeah, focus on just doing a story so that you actually unlock new content. Otherwise, just do event raids. Just list them, both events, anything that you can actually see, right? Just join them. And you don't have to like try to do more damage or anything. That's not the goal. The goal is just to join them. Just just to use your EP because you are going to be regenerating EP really quickly. Um, if you're going through this story as a new player. Yeah, try to join raids that are about to die so that you don't get your raid list doesn't get clogged like mine is right now. Because you can only join 3 raids, and because all 3 raids are like not dying fast enough, I can't join the next one, right? So try to join raids that are more likely to die. The Rise of the Beast event, these raids will die fairly fast, but it was a bad idea to join this ball. Huh, the target switch didn't work. That's interesting. It's alright. I think it will die. Well, feel free to, I guess. The coexist. Let me actually. Uh, I should figure out something to auto copy that. I'll do that before next time. Just in case I need to paste the raid code. Okay. Since I did spend like the first hour actually talking and not doing anything, I'll play a little bit longer just because I want to uh, get through like all my Magna hosts for today. So, uh, or at least unlock them is what I mean. I don't really plan on staying through doing all of them. Thanks. And there's the other side of the coin where things die too fast. Actually, you know what? I'll just do the RTB ones instead of the event ones. Um, Mostly because I want those badges. And I think the event's going to be around longer, whereas the beast will go away in like a couple of days. So I don't know if you're still watching Apathy, but one thing you should do is bookmark the ready screen, this screen. Then you can jump to the bookmark. I actually use a shortcut keys extension to just jump to the bookmark because I like playing without the bookmark bar, without So this is like Chrome's shortcut thing. But even if you're playing on the regular browser, you can just bookmark this screen. Then you can click on the bookmark, right, or go to the bookmark, uh, and it will jump you to this screen. That's what I'm doing, right? So like I go to the raid, I cast one spell, then I just go to the bookmark because you don't want to jump through all the menu. So that's yeah, I'm using the shortkeys extension. Yeah. Um, I think they actually switched to like a paid version now, so I can't recommend that extension anymore because it's not free anymore. But I have an older version that was already installed on my Chrome. That's free. I think it's like from what I read, It's like behind the soft paywall now, like $2 or something. Like, and the same thing, you just have to pay to install it now or something. I guess the guy got kind of tired of like not making any money or something. But anyway, it's the same thing, right? I just don't like having the clutter of the bookmark bar. You can actually get the same thing with the bookmark bar. Oh crap! Don't know if I'll have enough damage to clear it. Yeah, yeah, it's like $2 now. But you don't need it, Just book. The important thing to know is that you can use bookmarks to jump around, rather than going through the proper menu. There's just too much menuing in the game. So one of the important things to learn, uh, if you want to grind the game a lot, is to just how to jump around faster. Was there a chain burst here? Hmm. Okay. See what? Oh, bad choice again. Shouldn't have joined DAO. This is a dead red. Nobody does this. Alright, so I think I have all the prerequisites to get um, Dark Fencer, right? Yeah. Okay, so I guess you could consider this uh, one of the milestones or something. I just didn't write it down, but getting Dark Fencer is one of the things that new players should do. It doesn't matter, just give me something. So now another thing having multiple windows open lets you do is like just upgrading stuff, right? Uh, I don't want to not play the game while I'm upgrading my weapons. It's just and even like upgrading itself, like you want to have more than one window open later on, um, and things like collecting stuff from crate and all that. The game does this part terribly. They have tried to make it better, but this is still very sucky. Um, the number one thing I hate in the game is casino. Uh, from the perspective of a new player, I don't think casinos should be in the game. Um, it's really unfortunate. I actually think it got unlocked right after chapter 8. Yeah, I should be doing this. Um, so after chapter 8, you get this casino nonsense, and you should be collecting at least free stuff every day, um, free pots and berries. But man, I hate this. The whole thing. I really wish they would get rid of this. It just it's such a silly idea and has no place really. It's like it's not tied to the game at all. It doesn't. It's just a terrible experience. You have to spend playing through some bullshit rigged casino nonsense just to make progress in the normal game. So that's the number one thing I hate. The second thing I hate the most is just the upgrading system. It's just very painful. Um, it's not so bad if you're taking it slow, I guess. But especially if you're rushing through and you start getting like multiple weapons uh, every day and all that, and it's just turns into a turns into a nightmare really quickly. Oh, nice! I got a copy of the summon. Actually, I think they give you a copy at some point. I don't remember when, but I do remember that they give you a copy at some chapter. I should have just done that right away in the first place. Uh, but I think the copy is not FLB or something. I don't remember. Uh, I don't remember what the free summon that they gave you is like. It might have just been like a limited event kind of thing too. I'm not sure. What would be nice is if they actually like for the next anniversary or something just gave you like all of the FLB Magna. Just like they gave you like all the ULB weapons, right? If they give you like all the FLB Magna, that would help out new players a lot. Because like the game is adding so much newer content, right? And the older content just uh, blocks progress for too long. They should honestly like just consolidate the older raids more and more. They have done that with the hard plus and magna plus, but I think they should even do consider doing something like here is this raid, you do it and you do all the raids, you roll the rewards for all the raids before this tier, right? All the magna stuff, everything up until the magna point on one raid, something like that, just save time because otherwise there's just so much to do, especially for new players or even veteran players that are trying to do like everything. I hope they consider that at some point. Come on. Uh, the new draconic weapons. Um, I don't know. It's kind of interesting that they chose to roll it out the way they did with the new weapons essentially being useless for people that already have the Dark Opus weapons. But at least they have some utility, I guess, as main hand. So main hand effect seems decently strong, especially if you want to like full auto, or something. Then because these are defensive weapons, and the utility seems defensive as well on the main hand. So the fire half, for example, gives you like mirror image and a strong refresh. So I mean, more weapon is always nice. Choice is never a bad thing. But I can't say that I'm not disappointed a little bit because it's new content that's kind of dead on arrival for me, uh, as I can't actually use the weapon without giving up Opus, which is a much stronger weapon. So obviously I'm not gonna do that. So it's meant for people who can't do you know, Lucy. But I just think there are not that many people that can like do the Lindworm stuff, the new dragons soloing and all that, but that can do Lucy. Like that seems like a miscalculation. I don't think there's that many players that are at that spot where they could like contribute to Lindworm decently, as in get like the blue chest or something, but uh, can't get decent contribution in Lucy, like do their trial or something. Seems like a very small subset, but I guess at least people can just leech 18-man raid instead of a 6-man raid and get a fairly strong weapon. So they're not bad. Okay, I'm finally no longer ranking up so fast that I get free P wasting all the time. That's good. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like if you actually just do leeching, then you have so much quartz that you have to spend, and you don't have quartz as a new player. So I don't know. Seems just like a miscalculation, but at least it's an option to go for, I guess. I think there are a lot of even veteran players who have not done Lucy because they think it's harder than it actually is, or they just don't have like time and connections to like coordinate uh, the fight. Like for example, Ono Yuki, the voice actor of Gran and Lancelot, the Gisla guy. Uh, he doesn't have a dark opus, and I'm actually like shocked that he doesn't have a dark opus because there is no reason he can't do the raid, right? Like the only reason he doesn't have the dark opus is because he hasn't done the raid. Okay, so I think that actually unlocks all the magnets, right? Do I go back to the home island and then what's happening here? That's interesting. I thought that was the chapter that would unlock it. Oh right, I need to actually do the hard raids, I guess, to see them. So let me do that. Uh, Which icon? I'm not sure which one you're talking about. Upper right corner. Oh, this? The one above Sioux. This one? Or... Yeah, I'm not sure which one do you mean. This is actually just debuffer. I thought C was less tanky than C looks to be here. I should change my setup a little bit too, I guess. The girl in the vase. I still don't have any idea what you're talking about. Just PM me a picture or something. Okay, so I think that should unlock Tiamat, right? And so I forgot that you actually have to do like the hard raids to get each of the Omega wins. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that for all of them. Now I want dark. Oh, oh, on my stream you mean? Okay. Oh, uh, it's just the slimes. So those are icons for my crew. I'm in this crew called Slime Girls. Um, and we are like a endgame crew, I guess. We're probably the strongest English-speaking crew, though not as far beyond everyone else as we used to be. There used to be no competition, but I think there is significant competition now, mostly because uh, the game has kind of stagnated towards the end game, and a lot of our strong players have retired. Um, but yeah, it's basically the slimes are just icons from my crew. And the joke there is that there is normal normal slime girl, right? The slime is Jita, right? And she's in tired mode versus the fired up mode, right? When she's like going Super Saiyan or blue skin. I believe the artist was Akito, who used to be our crew member, but he's not there anymore. He's still in our Discord though. So yeah, it's just the female MC, the girl, and as the slime. So slime girl. I don't think there is really so much a requirement on like a strict. This is how much honors you have every day. Uh, but everyone is expected to contribute, I guess. Uh, so I know for our level, it usually means upwards of at least 50 million hours, 50 million honors every day. Even if we stop after the rust, right? We expect you to have like honestly close to 100 million every day. It's not that difficult nowadays, because even with not super fast setup, you can get like 100 million in like 3 hours, 3 4 hours. Feel free to reach out to Resilient. uh, or just PM me, I guess. PM me your ID or something, and I can hook you up. I don't think we have any vacancies right now though, but it's fairly common to have a vacancy. Like after every GW someone or someone retires. Yeah, you could say that. It's uh, it's more than 3 billion actually. We don't give up at 3 billion. If we think we can win, we'll fight, even if that means going all night. Okay, what was I trying to do here? I was trying to unlock, so that means going through this. Just trying to unlock my Magnus. Come on, man. I actually want to switch to a different class. Uh, I wouldn't say our crew is very comfy because the matchmaking is very skewed. Like, matchmaking is not very nice at all on right now. There's very little benefit to actually going hard. But we care about the rewards so much that we still fight it. What am I missing here? Save it, right? Okay. Leviathan Showdown. Uh, the Valors, are very limited resource. So for endgame players, like it's uh, it's too important a resource to give up on if you can win, even if it's a crappy fight. Come on. Oh wow, I forgot that Leviathan Hard is actually pretty tanky. This is where I do kind of miss Sarasa. 'Cause you'd one button is nonsense. Let me see if I can optimize this grid further because I still have some weapons already. Um, Let me just pick up all the weapons I got. all the Magna ones, of course. No, I don't want that. Never mind. I picked it up. Waste of slot. That was a dark axe, right? It's fine. I'll just forget it exists. Okay. So let's see. What can I replace here? I have one spear from Sele, but that's so I want an axe if possible. Uh, just want dark weapons to fill it up with. So tomorrow I'm gonna do side story for EX weapon. I think if I remember correctly, this one, right? This has a oh crap. What is this? I don't remember. Did I start like a side quest or something? How do you think tier 1 weapon series will perform? Uh, I think most of them are actually fairly decent. Um, like Fire obviously has the famous AKS axe. Uh, Dark has Cordanas, which are still good, uh, even though they have been overshadowed. Um, what else is there? Uh, Water has Oberons. Eh, they are better than you think. I think they don't sound so great, but they're actually not that bad. Um, I think they would, you know, it's always nice to have more F2P options. So I will do that in like 20 minutes, I guess. When I close the stream, I'll talk about it for like um, 5 minutes or so. But the gist of it is just basically that I'm gonna try to rank up, just unlock all the raids, get to HL, and then just focus on getting stuff that I need to get like an enmity dark setup going on. Okay, right now I'm just trying to unlock the Magna raids, where I forgot that you actually have to. Yeah, so that's one of the things I want to do. Yes, I want to have 6 after Water GW. But the problem is I actually can't because I won't have any gold bars. Uh, I want to, but I can't because I won't have any gold bars. So it won't be right away. I plan to do like some gold bar farming, but I mean I actually can't, right? Because I started the account today, and there is no way I can do enough damage uh, to get like the seals and all that. Um, on top of that, getting all the nuggets, and yeah, it's just not gonna work. Um, I'll see how much I can grind, I guess. Um, at least the first bar is pretty cheap. Um, but yeah, I don't think it's realistic given the time that I have. Yeah, instead I'll buy these nonsense because they'll save me grind later. And pots and berries, that's pretty much all I'm getting through this event for now. Actually, still want to do dark here. Uh, Not enough time to weave the skills. I no comments on Granblue's localization and stuff. I have no idea what they were going for. But that's Kolulu power right there, right? She's she doesn't die and she does a lot of damage. Basically, I'm getting carried by Kolulu and just Kolulu right now. Um, no, I don't think I want to say I recommend Kolulu as the number one subtext choice, unless you're doing what I'm doing, which is going for dark. And you're talking about a normal subtext and not like a limited subtext. So I did use one of the limited tickets I had, my start dash that had limited characters for her, but that's just because I wanted to break the game, right? Like on day one. Um, but if you are going to go hard on dark and if you if you know for sure that you like dark and you want to invest in it, then Kolulu is a character you should subtick at some point. Um, I'd say more important to get Joey first, but then after that, Kolulu is would be my recommendation for dark at least. But overall, I wouldn't say you know that you have to get Kolulu if you're not gonna go into dark. Yeah, Kolulu is definitely better than Dark Jian because she stays with you longer, right? And she's a stronger character in general. Before Kolulu, it definitely used to be like Dark Jian Central, but yeah, now I would just Dark Jian is nice for her weapon, so that you can start slime busting or something. But yeah, uh, Kolulu is definitely better than Dark Jian. Yeah, no problem. I just want people around so that I have something to talk about. Because otherwise, this is a little bit mind-numbingly boring. Uh, uh, uh. Okay, so last one. Hmm. Actually, want something stronger. That rate is gonna end. Do I want Bahamut or Hades? I think I want Baha actually. Yeah, makes more sense. Cause Baja's boost is just a lot stronger right now when my weapons are mostly like just stats and nothing else. Okay, so I still need Titan and some killing game or whatever this dragon's name is. In case you weren't doing it already, can I suggest? Yeah. I plan on doing that. At the start of the stream, I'll just do a recap of the previous day, and then at the end of the stream, I'll do. Okay, here's what we kind of did. Um, yeah. So I actually talked about the metagame setup at the start of this raid for a very long time. So I recommend checking that out once the VOD is up. Um, I will try to have like a write up, I guess, up somewhere. Um, not not right now, but like maybe on the weekend or something. Uh, I'll try to have like some blog or something up with like discussion of this week and um, just all the terminology, vocabulary stuff. Probably should have done that before I started, but honestly, I just kind of started this on a whim, so uh, it was just like a very great timing to start a new account, because there's just so many things happening right now. Like today was probably or yesterday was probably the best time to start a new account uh, in the whole year. So that's why I just felt like, well, if I'm gonna do it, then even though I didn't really like do any prep work, I should start. Okay, so I unlocked all the magnets, but the problem is I definitely can't do them. So this is where you call in the senpais, right? So all these raids that you can't do, you host and you get someone, uh, some friend or somebody to just like come kill it for you. As a new player, that's what you should do. But because I'm trying to avoid relying too much on quote unquote hacking things like that, uh, I will see how Twitter behaves with this. If Twitter is not playing nice, I will just ask someone to come help because there's no way I can take this on right now. I just want to do so I'll just cycle through each one of them, not the whole thing, but it's one host each just for crystals, and just so I can see like is it actually feasible to use Twitter for this. Uh, I will definitely be playing both of the. I have two other accounts that I play actively. I'm playing those, just not while I'm streaming this, right? I'll play those. There isn't that much to do because both those accounts have essentially completed the game as far as they can uh, right now. That is. So I just need to do like some hosts for like daily hosts, daily endgame hosts. That's it. Yeah, sword water definitely a possibility. Um, you especially if you pick up the. So that one was not that bad. Um, oh, I got a gun too. Nice. I don't know how the other ones will go. Colossus in particular is like nobody really does this raid, so we'll see. Yeah, sword water is definitely a possibility with Sandophone, Catalina, Maria. There are actually other options too, like Summer Naru is a very strong option for doing like sword katana mix. Um, so what I'm thinking of there is just running like a Glorybringer, Sandalphon, um, Naru, and maybe Quatre, just for the multi-attack buff, right? And then you run like the Akasa Spear, um, and you run like Ultimate Katana or something. And yeah, that's a fairly strong team too. But uh, Maria is very strong, both for his staff and sword. So it's definitely a possibility. So yeah, my plan for if like these things start taking too long, like nobody's joining or something, then I'll just like bring one of my accounts and just kill it, pretend that that's my friend or something. Um, so probably be doing that anyway to begin with, because I'm supposed to be speedrunning this. Um, when I started like as a brand new player, I had my senpai Maru, uh, who is directly responsible for the nonsense that I'm doing right now because I had given up in the morning. I tried for like 5 minutes and then I rambled on to no end, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do this. But then I linked that to him saying this went bad, and he's like, well, just do it anyway. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay. Uh, but anyway, I have a friend called Maru, cool guy. I've known him for like 10 years now. We played, we've grown up together, I guess, through many games, Dota and all this. He was the one that introduced me to Granblue, and he was available to kill my Magna. So I didn't have to do what I'm doing right now, which is just tweeting into pubs. I had guaranteed Vice because Maru was there to kill the raid for me. So that's something that I recommend to each new player. Try to find like experienced players who can help you out, because especially if they're like intermediate tier, then there's benefit in it for them too, because they get to have like the guaranteed red chest, right, with MVP. So if there's like a rank 120, rank 130 level player, um, then it's a mutual relationship. Well, at least I guess because it's Magnafist, it doesn't look so bad right now. It's like about a minute waiting or something. But if I start getting tired of this, I'll just get my other accounts to carry this. At least until like I get to the point where I can start soloing them. And that's actually what I would recommend to new players. Find people in the community to help you out. I expected this one to fill up right away because it's water GW next. But at the same time, I don't know how many people actually want to do Magna on water nowadays. So maybe it won't. Uh, I requested the crew, right? Okay. I'm just gonna bring my account in, I guess. Because this is taking too long, and I'm an impatient guy. Yeah, Levi is very tanky. I think I'm going to hate. I don't even have enough mats for her. What happened? No worries. We can go to casino and buy it out. So there is only one. That's sad. So this, I forgot about this actually. It's very hard to even host the raids at the start. I completely forgot the part that you don't have these. I have thousands of these on my other accounts, but at the start you don't actually have a way to even host it. Uh, so never mind, Iggy. Never mind Seb as well. So I can host Celeste at least. Um, because I felt like I have enough damage with my dark battery or dark party rather. Uh, I was originally planning to pick up Sarsa over Acer, uh, but uh, Sarsa is the biggest advantage of Sarsa is that she gives you like a strong nuke, right, for doing like your daily hards and all that. But I think with the dark setup that I have, I should start to be able to do them fairly quickly anyway, within like a couple of days. Uh, so Acer just more value, I guess. I was actually gonna pick six, but then someone reminded me of the event six, so that's all well. Um, I guess Celeste is actually still fairly popular, right? So okay, so I don't want to say sit through like yes, she would be very good for Arkham too. Um, Eventually, I do want to get Arkham set up with Lunalu and Sarasa, but so I don't want to like sit through cycling this like one at a time each day. So I did a test run just now, and I think I'm convinced that actually, you know what, I'm just gonna ignore this the Magna stuff altogether. I unlocked it today, so that's like it's just a milestone thing. But I'm actually just gonna continue playing the story and side stories, and just try to get something together for this quest, uh, rank, and then rank up to 101, just so I can unlock the hard plus, because I don't want to like take the time going through this one at a time. So we're gonna beeline for rank 101. I'll have to think about what I can do for that. Um, Let me see actually what are my options if I wanted to do this right now. Could I do this like if I were to copy this over? Because Acer's actually Acer's actually fairly strong for that. So I'm wondering if I could potentially just get some greed going for Acer and try to get it that way. Alright, so that's only two fire weapons though, so I don't think it'll work. But no, I'm done trying. Actually, I want yep. I want her where Joy is, because when you load in, that's probably the position that is most comfortable. So let's try it. I think it's going to turn out completely terrible, but I just want to see. I actually didn't even unlock her skill. Huh. So that's not gonna work. And I think you don't even have. Uh, yeah, I need to figure out a setup for this. But the what I want to do for the rest of the week is try to figure out a setup for this quest and try to get to rank 101 right away. I'm gonna ignore farming Magnus until I have that because it's just too takes too much time. Um, so obviously this is too slow as well. I don't want to do it like that slow. Um, but the other thing is where Johnny drops changed, so I don't have any Johnny drops for today because I didn't use any AP. Okay, I need to use some AP. So just so I have the Johnny drops. So tomorrow I will do uh, side stories just to burn some AP. Okay, I think it's pretty much the time that I was gonna spend on this today. So let's just do a recap, I guess. Uh, okay, so this was the agenda for today, right? Yeah. So mm, just a very brief recap of the overall idea. I just started a fresh account today, and I'm going to play it on stream all the way through until I have some decent endgame. And so I picked up Summergy, I picked up the underbasic skills, I picked up Kolulu with my Stardust. I picked up some of the free weapons. I was planning to pick up Sarsa from the Eternals event, but I ended up picking Esther instead. I think that was the better choice, even though I'm sort of missing Sarsa already a little bit. Um, and so my short-term goal is, this week is to just unlock all the Magna raids and get to rank 101, unlock Arcarum and unlock tier 4 classes. So the goal for today, um, or this session, was to just unlock all the Magna raids, which we did. Um, so this one is a work in progress. I think there's another set of free weapons for getting to like chapter 48 or something like that is the last one I think. There's another set basically of free weapons. So that we're not gonna get to today anyway, but we'll continue with that. Maybe not tomorrow because tomorrow I plan on doing side stories instead, just to burn my AP. Um, yeah, and I need to skill up the weapons in the dark grade. I think we have the fodder, but I didn't actually do the skill up. I'll do that at the start tomorrow. And as far as the dailies, I don't think we got through the Rise of the Beasts daily, but that's fine. We did get the other one though, the Eternals event. Um, so what's unfortunate about the Rise of the Beasts is that uh, I can't kill the thing myself. So anyway, I guess I will actually prioritize it tomorrow to just get the one of the nuggets out of the way or something. Uh, so so what went on right today? So uh, the plan was to start the account and get to get working on just the basic setup at the start. The goal is to get to NVT Highlander, so that's why we picked um, Summer Zui and Kolulu with two tickets we have available. Uh, at the limited ticket from the anniversary for Summer Zui and the my start test for the new player ticket for Kolulu, and then we picked up six from the event, and we picked up Esser from the Eternals event, the free Eternal. Um, and so the one thing that we did do that was not in that list was we unlocked Dark Fencer, which is the first class that new players would be going for. Um, so Dark Fencer requires like a couple of classes as prerequisites. So those were the classes that I did first. If I think once you actually unlock it, it doesn't mention anymore which classes were needed. But you can look it up on the wiki. I think it's pretty much Enhancer and Sentinel, and I think Sentinel requires the first two here, or rather, I think Priestess Knight for Sentinel, and I think it's Wizard and Enhancer for Arcana Dweller. Anyway, so we do have Dark Fencer, but we are not really playing it normally, so it actually doesn't matter so much for us. I just wanted to show that hey, this is the class that you want to go to at the start. Next, we're just gonna like switch through all the different classes and just master all of them, because each class gives you a mastery bonus once you have it mastered. So like once you have mastered, each class gives you like a permanent bonus to the main character. If you go to the party, it lists you all the bonuses actually. So +1 attack, +3 defense, etc. So as we get more classes leveled up and mastered, the list of buffs here is gonna go longer and longer. So that's why you want to actually unlock all the classes and not. That's one reason. Another just so you have more skills available. So for example, because we did Dark Fencer, we can now pick that skill up in other classes too. Once you have the this so I think this class can't, but once you get to like tier 4, you can pick up any of this other skills. I think tier 3 classes have a sub skill that they can pick up too. So Dark Fencer has this skill called Miserable Mist, right? Which is why it basically reduces the enemy's attack and their defense. That's why this class is the first one that you want to go to. And if you are actually playing, by yourself, you don't have anybody that can help you out, then even the harder raids, you can try to tackle them as this account as this class, because this class has some very nice defensive utility between this spell Gravity, which basically increases the charge diamond so that the boss is not like constantly spamming their Ogi on you, and you can also slow them down with the delay. So it's just a very strong class. So for today we just got that class and we started on the account. Um, well, so if you were an actual new player, then you should actually do all these daily quests. So the hard quests, you should do all of them because they will give you mats to host the Magna, right? And so nowadays you don't actually have to like jump around the islands. I'm just used to doing that from memory, but you can actually do that all from here now. Everything that you have unlocked, right? They're all available on your red list. I can't host these because I don't have the mat, but yeah. So that's our progress so far. So tomorrow we're gonna do some side stories just so we can get some journey drops, and also because I want to make this grid as strong as possible for dark already, right? So right now we have a Magna mod, we have an unknown mod um, from the Anubis weapon, but there just aren't that many dark weapons here. So we finally got another dark weapon with spear, thanks to clearing the story a little bit further. But I'm gonna try to pick some more dark weapons from the side stories and just fill the grid with like a bunch of different dark weapons. Um, so that's the plan for tomorrow. Yeah. So I think with that I'm gonna close the stream for today. Thank you guys for tagging along. Um, I think one of the things that I did at the start of this session was I went through what the actual, what do I mean by an endgame dark setup. Um, so I spent like about 30-40 minutes talking about just the dark endgame setup with one of my accounts as an example. uh, of what I'm going for. So if you're interested, you should check that out. But yeah, otherwise, thank you for coming along, and I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, and if you have something that you want to discuss outside of stream, just feel free to PM me. Um, yeah, you can reach me on Discord. Uh, it's on my, I think it's on my stream description, but I'll add it if it's not there. All right, thank you.